Hello, everybody. The current system of education was designed, conceived, and structured for a different age. It was conceived in the intellectual culture of enlightenment and the economic circumstances of the Industrial Revolution. That's a quote by an education expert, Sir Ken Robinson, and comes from his talk, Changing Education Paradigm. It's a great talk. You can see it on YouTube. I highly recommend. So the education model that is being used everywhere in the world was designed in the 18th and 19th century and basically hasn't changed since then, even though our lives are very different since then. And as Ken Robinson, I too believe that we need to change the way we educate. My name is Jana Palm, and I'm running a Swedish games accelerator called Stugan. I've been there from the very beginning, and I've helped forming this concept. But all my life, I've been very passionate about two things, games and education. And in a way, Stugan is connecting my two passions. When I was going to school, I had subjects, I guess like everybody else, I had subjects that I really liked and subjects I wasn't very interested in. And I often found myself struggling to find the motivation to learn things I wasn't very interested in, and it was not that easy. And I believe that in order for people to learn, either you need to find the subjects fun and interesting, or you need to be motivated to learn. Nowadays, we are stimulated by many different sources all the time. We have TV, internet, we basically live on our mobile phone all the time. And we spend most of our times in front of a screen. When we work, when we relax, when we have fun, we can have a real-time, intimate discussion with somebody who is on the other side of the world. This is a picture taken in a co-working space in Stockholm called Sub 46. And when you go there, you see people sitting in front of the computers and typing. And when I go there, I often wonder, what is it that they're doing? What is their job? Because everybody looks exactly the same. They basically sit in front of a computer and they could do anything in the world. And these people are creating some of the coolest startups in the world. And you can see this image anywhere you go, everywhere in the world, in any office. People look exactly the same. So we do this, we spend our times in front of a computer, yet the education model hasn't changed in decades, and kids still don't get basically any compulsory computer education at all. We basically follow the old patterns of memorizing books and testing our knowledge with mostly only one correct answer. And we don't encourage creativity, and we don't help the students to find the motivation to learn things. Stugan is a Swedish non-profit games accelerator. We bring together some 20 game developers from all over the world, and they spend together 2 months in the middle of the Swedish forest. We have done this for 2 years already, and we have announced today that we're doing it for the 3rd time as well. And the concept comes from 2 veterans from the Swedish games industry, Jana Palm and Oskar Burman, who've been in the industry for many years, and they want to give back and help new talents. So as I said, we have just announced that we opened the applications for Stugan 2017. So if you're interested in applying and spending the summer in the cabin in the woods in Sweden, you can go to our website, stugan.com/apply, and there you will find all the necessary information. And if you do apply and if you do get selected, you will be one of the 20 game developers who get to spend the summer in Sweden. We try to get people with different backgrounds and different experiences. We try to have a very diverse team. It gets a table in the beginning, but people are free to work wherever they want. Like here you see some people prefer to work in a forest or on a stone in a river. We also don't have any fixed working hours. We believe that people get productive in different times, and some people like to sleep in and work in the night, while other people like to work from 9 to 6. Everybody can do as they like, but they just need to understand that it's not a paid vacation. They need to show progress on the game. They spend the summer there free of charge. They don't need to pay for their stay at all. And unlike other accelerators that I know of, we don't take any part of the games. The developers own the games themselves. The motivation is the key when we study, when we work. And when we select the applicants, we really want to have a great diversity. People from different countries, different backgrounds, different experience. We have people who just finished their studies together with people who've been working in the industry for several years. And that creates a great environment where people everybody has different experience and everybody has something to bring to the table. We also do Friday sessions, which is every week we have three teams who present their game to everybody, and they get the feedback from everybody else, and they get help from their fellow participants, which is great because people are very eager to help each other out. And we encourage that. People also spontaneously organize workshops. They believe that they have something to share with other people, and that could be beneficial to the rest of the group. And everybody else is just eager to listen and learn new things. And just the fact that game developers spend the summer together working side by side is very beneficial to them. Many come to me and they say, this is so great to sit here and talk to other people and work next to them, because many indies, they usually work alone at home, and here they actually see other people working and they can talk to them anytime they like. And last but not least, we bring in mentors. So we invite people from the games industry, people with long experience, both from Sweden but also international. And we also strive to have many different areas of expertise, so we can cover different topics. And these topics range from game design, sound, art, legal stuff, PR, publishing versus self-publishing. We believe that game developers need to think about all these things, not just how you make a game, but also more about how you should actually what you should do when the game is ready, how to release it. And these mentors typically spend 1 to 3 days with us, and they usually start with a presentation when they introduce themselves, and then they talk about some topic that could be beneficial to everybody, and then they spend more time talking one-on-one to all the teams. And one cool thing that I didn't expect to happen, but what happened was that the mentors come to me and they say that they get very energized and very inspired in return from the interaction with the participants. They get a bunch of new ideas, and when they come home to their work, they believe that they become more inspired and more productive at their work. This is one great example. Clint-Sue, he was a participant in Stugan 2015, the first batch. And before applying to Stugan, he wasn't working as a game developer. He was working as a visual effects artist. And then he heard about Stugan, and he thought that sounded cool. So he came up with the game concept, and he applied, and he blew our mind with that. And we accepted him, and he came to Stugan and spent the summer in Sweden. And he really used his time very well in Stugan. He interacted with the mentors. He was really working hard to make the best out of it, also interacting with other participants, and he really learned a lot. And this is the game that he created called Prism, and that was the first game also launched after Stugan a year ago, and it came to iOS and later also Android, and it was featured on both platforms, and he got a great publicity for that as well. And he actually ended up moving to Sweden and working full-time in a games company in Stockholm. One of the things we also aim for is that we try to get media attention to the project and the participants. This is from the November issue of an Edge magazine, and we've had also articles in other publications like the Wall Street Journal, Fortune, and even Playboy. And one journalist that came to Stugan and visited us said something that really stuck with me. He said, and he spent a day with us, and then when he was leaving, he said, "This is how all higher education should be like." And then he paused, and then he said, "No, wait, this is how all education should be like, period." Many of you here in the room are already very accomplished. If you choose a career in games, then you sign up for lifelong learning. And I believe that games have helped you potentially in finding the motivation to learn difficult things in your life. But I believe that games have a bigger purpose than just entertaining people. I believe that in order for us to keep benefiting from the progression that is accelerating us, we, the game developers, we need to make sure that we use our skills and we create software that is going to make learning and teaching as fun as playing your favorite game. Thank you.
I have two questions, I guess. Firstly, do you guys have a sauna at the cabin?
Yes, we do.
Because for us Finns, that's kind of an important thing. Well, second one is because you have a sauna, how do I apply? What do I need to do?
So you go to our website, stugan.com, and there you find all the information about the applications. Basically, you need to send us a 90-second long video where you present the team and the game you want to work on. It's very important that we actually see both the team and the game.
So you guys usually deal with teams of like a few people, or like what's the kind of range?
So we said 1 to 3 people per team, but the teams can be also bigger, but only max 3 people at a time at Stugan. And the core part of the team has to be, it's not like 20 people is sitting somewhere and then 1 person at Stugan.
No? All right. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit on kind of like how we can apply this model to other forms of teaching and learning? Like, do you guys have already like projects in mind where you would take these learnings and apply it to something else?
I mean, there is many people who are actually studying this topic. One that comes to my mind, Jane McGonigal. She has done a series of talks about how you can apply game development to education, how you can, or life in general, how you, when you play a game, you get super focused on the task and you really, you stop thinking about anything else and you just make sure that you finish the task, you collaborate with other people, while in real life, when we get something that is not so much fun, we struggle to find the motivation. So I think that would be the thing, finding the motivation and collaborate with other people.
Okay, I guess I actually have a kind of a follow-on question. Like, has it happened yet that you would actually get like people at Stugan developing like kind of educational games because of being inspired by what you guys are doing? Do you see that happening?
Yeah, not directly educational games. No, not yet.
Okay. Well, maybe next year, maybe one of you guys. Okay. So thanks a lot, Jana. That was good. Interesting stuff.
Thank you.